Hey guys, welcome. This is a first combined call for Rise Undaunted. I'm here with co-host Trevor Henniger, who is the founder of Rise Undaunted. He is a coach and speaker. I'm here with co-host Michael Slade, who is a coach and podcaster. And I'm Rob Rains, your third co-host. I am a relationship coach and speaker. We're here to share some thoughts about the launching of a new direction of Rise Undaunted. And to do that, I'm going to turn the time over to Trevor.
Oh goodness. Well, thank you. I was
Mhm.
gonna say before you do that, don't forget to mention Towers of Strength because I feel like Towers of Strength has been kind of your baby for the last little while, hasn't it?
It has. It has. So I'll make a mention of that and just say, so this is geared toward the Rise Undaunted group, but also toward the Towers of Strength group. And to the Towers of Strength men's group, what our plans are is we are merging with Rise Undaunted. Uh, Towers of Strength and Rise Undaunted has the exact same goals. Rise Undaunted already has a great structure in place, and so I'm really inviting all of my brothers from the Towers of Strength group to join us in Rise Undaunted and really build that group, and so we can all work together.
I love it. I'm excited for that. Thanks, Rob.
So,
Appreciate
my
it.
Trevor, thanks.
Yeah. So real quick, anybody who's familiar with Rise Undaunted, in the past, we've been very much like just about being a Christian community. We're always very accepting of all men to join us, but we've decided to niche down to more of an LDS based community. There's literally millions of men in the LDS organization, and obviously meaning the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But we feel like because we all have LDS backgrounds, we can be a lot more impactful for those men and their families. And so that's the direction that we've gone. And so we wanted to kind of make that announcement, let everybody know. Obviously, we don't want anybody to leave, but if you feel like you need to, that's totally fine. But we are a community that is all about unconditional love and acceptance. So no matter what your background is or who you are, what mistakes you've made in the past or in the present, it makes no difference to us. We're here to accept you, love you, help you in any way we possibly can. And we know that by you joining our community, there's people you're going to help as well, guaranteed. We all have that ability to help people through our own experiences. So I'll turn the time back over to you, Rob.
Sure. So I would just add for clarity, and correct me on any of this, Trevor. I feel like if anyone has a question in their head at this point of, well, what kind of LDS direction is this? I would say it doesn't matter where you are in the LDS church or in your faith journey. If you are actively devout in the LDS church, if you have previously been in the LDS church and have left, if you are struggling in your faith or somewhere in the middle, all are welcome. This is very much an inclusive group, and we are gearing toward LDS because we kind of have a very common language that we can speak and have a greater impact. However, if you are not LDS and have never been LDS and you're a like-minded Christian, you're also welcome. So I think I'm just repeating mostly what Trevor said, but just want to make that clarifying statement so that nobody says, "Oh, I'm not active. I better leave." No,
You
please
know,
stay in the group.
yeah, absolutely. I really love this statement. It's take what works for you and then leave the rest. If there's something that you found that's really applicable to you in your life and what can be helpful to you, share it with others, have that benefit there. But if it doesn't apply to you, doesn't really sit with you, that's okay too. Just use what you learn and what works for you, and then go from there.
Beautiful. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. So I think what we wanted to really share today is this direction that Rise Undaunted is taking, and the direction that Towers of Strength is taking in jumping on the Rise Undaunted train and joining forces, and then calling out to men that are that are wondering, do I have a place in this group, or should I be in this group, or is this group for me? What does this group do? So, Trevor and Michael, what are your thoughts there? What are some men that might want to join this group, or continue participation in this group, or maybe ramp up their participation in this group?
Well,
Something
go
I
ahead,
want to
Trevor.
mention really quick is also to make sure men understand you don't have to be married with kids to be part of this group either. So that's not a requirement. There are no requirements. Just throwing it out there. Just be a participant. If you're gonna be here, show up. That's the only requirement.
Yeah.
And so just throwing that out there. And the first thought I had was, um, has anybody ever been to elders quorum and felt like maybe they weren't fully accepted, or maybe they didn't feel completely safe, or have the ability to share something that was on their heart, or that they felt they didn't feel like they could do that? Not to put elders quorum down or anything like that, but just wanted to open that question out there, because I know that that's something I've experienced, and it's not something that I experience here in Rise Undaunted. Anyways, you had something to say, Michael. Go ahead.
Well, no, I totally agree with that. And just show up, just do your best, and like you said, you said everything. I don't need to repeat everything you said, because you said you hit the nail on the head. But there is definitely a purpose that this serves. That it's not, we're not trying to take away from anything. Add the opportunity to have a safe place, to be vulnerable, or a safe place to share your struggles, and among people that create that safe place to do so. People that understand, and not just understand those difficulties, but are also willing to share their difficulties too.
Yeah, agreed 100%. And one thing I want to mention is, we might have a lot of men on here going, well, maybe these guys don't really know what I'm going through. And maybe you're right, but we know that Christ knows. That's why he suffered for us in the Garden of Gethsemane. That's why his atonement exists, because he knows what we're going through. He knows what we've been through, what we're going through currently. But you would be amazed. I will tell you, you would be amazed what we might know, the three of us. And there's a lot of other guys who are part of Rise Undaunted as well. It's not just the three of us. We're just three out of currently five coaches that are in Rise Undaunted. And like, if you don't mind me saying, both Rob and Michael have been divorced, and that may be something that you feel like is super taboo. Some of your listeners, because in the church it's not something that's readily acceptable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But maybe that's because that divorce rate is increasing so quickly, that might be something that a lot of you might be struggling with, and these guys know what you're going through and can really be there to help you out and go through that process. Or maybe you need help in preventing it, whatever it might be. I mean, any thoughts, guys?
Yeah, I would say, if there are men here that are divorced, or single, never been married, who are struggling in relationships, who are struggling in dating, who are wanting to have better dating experiences, maybe you're really frustrated with the opposite sex and you're not sure why. We can help. We've been through some of these things, and we're also, as coaches, able to sometimes see a little bit beyond the immediate, and able to give counsel and receive counsel. We're all, again, I've given counsel in some of these meetings. I've also received them, and it's been really a benefit either way. If you're struggling with addiction, you're welcome here, and we can help, and we would love to include you. If you're struggling with overcoming certain habits, if you're struggling to be the best version of yourself and you're just not sure what the next step is, you have a place here. If you are married and struggling in your relationship with your wife, or you're a dad and struggling in your relationships with your children, you have a place here. We can help you. We can definitely make a place with you, hold space with you, and even share some things that might be able to help you. But you have a place where you're welcome and safe. Going back to what Trevor said about elders quorums, I would say when I go to my elders quorums meetings, I definitely feel that I'm included and I'm a part, and I feel cared for, and I feel fed spiritually. At the same time, I know that there are some problems that I have that I can't just bring up on a Sunday meeting, or during a Sunday meeting. But I could maybe go to one or two guys in the quorum and talk about it privately. But here I've got a group I can come to privately, and that's that. I feel like this is a fantastic supplement to elders quorum, if maybe that's the correct word.
Good word.
So just really, this has been a huge blessing in my life, and I know there are other guys struggling in my elders quorum too who could benefit from being able to come here and have a safe place to share things that you might not say on a Sunday afternoon or a Sunday morning, but you would definitely share on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we're not going to tell you you can't confess your sins. It's okay. Everything's confidential. Anything that's shared here is confidential. So,
and don't feel like though that this is a place where you're required to do that,
right?
Because sometimes you're just going to have those days where you just need to listen. You're going to have days that you just need to hear that there are other people that know, and there are days where you need to talk about it and you need to share what's going on in your life among people that are the same, like-minded, and understand. Because between you were saying, Trevor and Rob, that between the three of us, we've experienced most things, most challenges that men have, and it's our honor to be able to be there and to be here with you to serve.
For sure. Yep.
And I would underscore the fact that we're just regular Joes. We're regular guys. I'll freely admit, and in a recent therapy session with my therapist, I came to a realization, and I finally began to abandon a belief that I have held for decades that has inhibited my parenting. And realizing that I had that belief and realizing that it wasn't an accurate belief and being able to get rid of it, that was such a freeing thing. So we're still, just because we're coaches doesn't mean we've somehow made that, that plateau to that highest level. We're learning and growing along with you, and we're excited to do that and help you because we see those struggles and we're going through some of those struggles.
Yeah, for sure. One of the things that I struggled with the most in my life was pornography. I struggled pretty much daily for 30 years, and it was I tell you what, it really created a wedge between me and God, because I felt like he wasn't there for me. I did everything that I was told by my church leaders, and then nothing changed. And it wasn't until I received some ideas and looked within myself, outside of the church, finding other resources, is when I actually was able to change that. And that's okay, but that's why we're here, because we know that the church doesn't necessarily have all the answers. If I was to ask the church what's the best place to go fishing, it's not going to have the answer.
I don't know. There's a couple of people in my elders quorum group that think that they know.
Right. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's not going to have all the answers. It's not the end all be all of truth in the world,
And it's not supposed to be. There's truth all around us.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. The church is a great structure. It is not spiritual Google, and there are answers to be found. And sometimes we're the ones meant to find them and bring them into the church and bring them and make them available to other people. So.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to mention really quick is this Rise Undaunted is growing, and it's not just an online community, but we also have a face-to-face community. So reach out to us and ask if there's anybody specifically in your area, because we're setting up groups all across everywhere. Example here, we got Michael Slade here is in Washington State, Rob Rains in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm in Southern Utah. We're not even anywhere near each other, right? So Rise Undaunted, there's guys, there might be guys in your area, and if there aren't, wait a few months, and there will be. You know, it's growing quickly, and we're just super excited where it's headed. And it's so nice to have guys in your area that you can just go have fun with, go shooting with, go do whatever you want with, get hugs. I mean, come on. I like to get hugs sometimes, you know, from guys. And call me whatever you want, but I like hugs. It's just something about that camaraderie. It's nice to have face-to-face contact. So, anyways, anybody else?
Absolutely. I think there's so many benefits. It's hard for us to share on a single forum like this all the many benefits of having positive, mature, and growing male influences in our lives that heal those things that sometimes were broken in childhood or in early adulthood, and that brothers that can heal each other and teach each other and help each other and coach one another. That's a beautiful principle, and we invite you to join. We invite you to. There's a variety of programs, and at risk of sounding like a salesperson here, there's the Band of Brothers program. There's the Create Your Own Life program. We invite you to explore these, to join these. There's a monthly cost to some of the programs. Simply being on the Rise Undaunted page and being in part of the group is free. But the paid programs are programs that will help you level up, that will help you make specific changes in your life. And I found them to be fantastic. And I encourage you to explore those and look at them, and be a part of those too. So we invite you to just join the group, become active, pay attention to the content, really start digging into the content, and then explore some of the programs we have.
Yeah, and I'll throw out there, even if you joined the two main programs, it would cost you less than one therapy session, and you would get an entire month's worth. So these are not expensive programs, but they are life-changing.
Yes,
so.
Absolutely.
And I needed therapy, so I understand. Like, when I was having some major problems with my wife about what was it, 8 years ago or so, therapy is expensive. So let me tell you, it's a lot cheaper to get involved here if you want to start working on your relationship with your wife, or your girlfriend or your children or whatever, than it is to pay for therapy. Trust me on that one. I'm sure these guys can testify the same thing.
Yeah.
Indeed. So I would say in closing, we invite you to come and join the group, check us out, see what we're about, look at the programs, and just get involved in the meetings and the ongoing content that we are sharing and will continue to share, so that we can be a benefit to you, and we'd love for you to join so you can be a benefit to us and we can all help each other.
Definitely. Any final words, Michael?
Absolutely. Nope. Just it's a beautiful day when men can come together in love and mutual respect and kindness and provide support.
Thank you. Yeah, both of you, appreciate that. One of the things last thing I want to mention is I grew up hating men. There was something about, not necessarily that I hated my dad, but just when I got older, I saw all these men that just were such jerks. You know, they were so mean or disrespectful, whether it was to me or people I knew. And I just was like, I don't like men. And I just pushed them away. And you might be feeling the same thing. I feel like there's a lot of men who struggle with that, and it's okay. But the point is, the real change that we're looking for is going to come from a community of men. I testify that to you. It took me a long time to realize that, but once I started getting involved with groups of men who were powerful, who were loving, who were what I might say divinely masculine, instead of what the world might phrase toxic masculine. When I started associating with those types of men on a regular basis, my life started to change dramatically. My relationship with my wife started to change dramatically. And then I felt the prompting a few years ago that I needed to start Rise Undaunted, and so I did. And so now we're here, and it's happening, and it's just, it gets me so excited. I love helping other men, and I love benefiting, like learning from all of you guys too, like in the process. It's a win-win for everybody. So thanks so much for being here, guys. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we look forward to having you join us. Thanks.
Yeah, definitely. Have a great one. We'll talk to you soon.